Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of What's on Your Mind with Josh Kozuch. Now we've all heard of the learning curve, right? Where it takes time to learn a new skill and exponentially it'll grow over time. How many of you have ever actually heard of a forgetting curve? All right, that's what I want to talk about today is the forgetting curve. Now the forgetting curve theory was founded years ago from a study that looked at memory loss. And what they found was that within 1 month of learning a new skill or learning something new, 90% of it was already forgotten. So for example, if you learn something today, at the end of September, you're gonna already forget 90% of it. That's on average. Of course, there's different factors that come into it, but that's crazy, right? 90% of what we learn today is gonna be forgotten in another month. Well, that's what I wanna talk about with you guys today is just how do we kind of turn that 90% into 50% or 40% or even 5%? Now I'm gonna share with you guys from a teaching perspective and from a learning perspective. You'll see as we get going throughout the rest of this video today how it's going to go, but it's more of a 4-step process to help you retain better and to help those that you teach retain better. So let's kick it off here. The first step is to reinforce what it is that you're trying to learn. So from a learning perspective, if you're trying to learn a new skill, it helps to do other things that tie into that skill. So for example, if you're reading a new book about how to become a better leader, great. Don't just read the book and put it down and never think about it again. Watch different videos, ask questions, study other leaders, find other ways to retain the information that you're learning from that book. From a teaching perspective, when it comes to getting your students or those that you're trying to teach to retain something, continually stress that message. Maybe not the exact same way, but maybe the next day you bring up a point from the message you were trying to send. Maybe in another week you bring it up again. Maybe you put out tests, quizzes, whatever it might be. Find different ways to get your students to be able to retain the knowledge that you're trying to teach them. The second step is clarity, creating clarity from what it is that you're trying to learn. So again, from a learner's perspective, how do we create clarity? Well, when you read something, after you finish it, write it down. Write down your thoughts. So for example, you read a chapter in a book. Take some time to reflect on that chapter and write down your own thoughts. Try to make it clear. Try to make it understand in your eyes what it is that you read. Make things clear. From a teaching perspective, how do you make things clear? Well, my best advice for that is to keep things simple. You don't have to always use a lot of jargon and throw out big words to try to get your points to stick. What really helps is videos, pictures, finding things to get your message to stick with your people that you're trying to teach. So being very clear, clarity. The third step is relevance. So from a learning perspective, does this apply? Does this apply to what I'm trying to do? If we're learning about leadership, find ways to get it to apply. If you're learning about a new skill just to learn it, well, you better find different ways to be able to incorporate it into your day-to-day life. From a teaching perspective, again, relevance. A lot of times I've experienced this myself where if you might be teaching a specific mental skill that somebody isn't necessarily going through or will help them in that moment, it doesn't stick a lot of times. So you have to be very aware of what it is that the people that you're trying to teach needs. So making sure that it's relevant. And then the last step when it comes to learning and leveling out that forgetting curve is making things integrative or interactive. So from a learning perspective, again, finding ways to get out there and do it. Put this stuff into practice. From a teaching perspective, get involvement, get engagement from those around you. Get them to give their feedback in the moment. So that's what I have for you guys today as far as leveling out that forgetting curve, all right? Please comment, like below how you feel, what you think about this. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts. But let's try to level out that forgetting curve. I'm gonna do a video in another month just to see what you guys can remember from this video, just to test out this forgetting curve theory. So thank you all for joining, really appreciate it. Have a great day.